Welcome to The Forge. I'm Al the Geek. I love making big, crazy blasters. Here on The Forge, we're going to show you some tips, some tricks, and how to mod and paint your blasters. From anything from making giant master keys to making that big, long, cool sniper that you're always looking for. Whether it be cosplay or whether it be foam flinging, here at The Forge, we're going to show you how to do that. Hi, I'm Al the Geek, and on this week's episode, we're doing a blaster parade. I'm going to be showing off some of the big and not so big crazy things I make. We're going to start with the small ones first. This one, if you don't recognize it already, is the Dart Zone Outlaw. Love this thing. Hammer shot prime, cylinder pops out, high performance in terms of FPS, hitting about 120, 130 FPS. But what I love about it is that you can paint it so many cool colors. This one, I decided to do a whole copper thing, kind of like a steampunk thing. But yeah, love it. This, if you haven't recognized it, this is the Nerf Fate. The Nerf Fate, this does have a worker mod kit on it that has basically transformed what was a rival ball blaster now into a short dart. Now, there is a little bit of shell cutting that is necessary, but this thing is awesome. And of course, I felt the need to paint it blue. No idea why, just because I can. But the way this thing works, if you haven't seen one yet, this goes forward, mag comes out, you put a short dart in there, up. This then chambers the round, pull it back here, and you're ready to fire. And of course, not that it's necessary, I felt that it needed a scope. Because everybody needs a scope. Enter the Nerf Forerunner. I love this thing. This thing is about 12 shots, and again, it is a rival ball blaster, and for some reason, I felt the need to make this one a post-apocalyptic theme because, you know, everyone needs a post-apocalyptic shotgun. This thing, though, so fun, so easy. Of course, I had to add spikes to it. I actually use this as one of my primaries for an HVZ, especially in the beginning rounds where maybe you're limited to rounds. So easy, so fun, so light, and you have an attachment point. And of course, I had to do my thing to it. You like the Forerunner, but it's not big enough. How about we do that instead? This thing is just screaming sawed-off shotgun. Obviously, it's still a toy. We're not talking real weapons here. But had to add the pistol grip that you get for Spitfire Industries. Love what he did here. And it just kind of goes with the whole theme of this. This one I've also done in numerous colors. And again, everybody seems to need a post-apocalyptic shotgun, or at least I do. Did my thing to it. And of course, I have to add spikes to it. Why? No idea why. Just kind of felt the need for it. So in case white isn't your thing, you can get it in gray, or you can get both. And I'll make them in the same colors too. Now this one, it is your standard sledge fire. It is a non-modified one, but I love this thing because it is so much fun. So of course I had to add a big ridiculous barrel to it, and as many of these as I've sold, a lot of them end up being for, come on, you know what that logo is. I've sold a lot of them to Mandalorians. I get the idea of non-functioning props, but this is a functioning prop. And again, load it up like that. Take your shell, put it in there. Now this one is another Dart Zone product. This thing I love. It is screaming combat shotgun. It is nice, it's tight, it's compact, and it kicks. This thing is about 150 FPS. But the great part about this one is you're looking at it going, how do you load it? Where's the mag? Well, some of us know, and for those that don't, mag release right here. You give that a push, look at that. 2 12s, just like that. That is 24 rounds right into your dart blaster. Away it goes, and of course, at the red dot sighted. I love making these, and I think I've done this one in about 10 different colors. This one is the Jurassic Pro Blaster. So the way you might remember it was this actually had the mosquito and the amethyst in the stock for it, which is cool, and I kind of regretted painting over it, but I kind of had to do my whole thing. This thing I love. It is, again, high-performing blaster. I think it's about 160, 170 FPS. If I'm wrong, that's okay. You can always look it up and correct me later. But again, this one's compatible either short dart or full dart. I personally prefer the short dart. It performs better. And what's also cool about this, if you didn't know about it, is that this unscrews, and you can just put it on the other side. And you can tell, look at that. That is not cheap plastic. That is solid, which is necessary for the pull on this. The other thing I like about this is it is kind of long, but what makes it even more cooler, especially for transport, let's say if you're a cosplayer or you're going to an Earth War and you got to take a bus and you don't want to walk onto a bus holding this, pops off right like that. So you think, well, that's still too long. Yeah, not anymore. And suddenly, it fits in a backpack or everything else. But I also like it because now it looks like a cool pistol. Oversized or whatever else, man, but that's what great. And for this one, for some reason, clearly I had a thing for dragons, and I did dragon decals all over the thing, almost like crazy tattoos. But yeah, love this thing too. This one is a collaboration actually with my friend James Ridling. He lives out in Texas, and I tell you, that man, when it comes to modding, doing electrical internals, he is great at it, and he's fantastic. So he actually did the internals on this Matrix Fire. This thing runs on a 3S now, upgraded motors, rewired, new switch, and you can even control rate of fire with this knob right here. Now this also is a master key kit, so the 3D printed parts, which I did get from Foamdemic, parts fit great as always, so that makes me happy, and on the magnets. So you got the magnets down below. But here's the best part. You ready for it? Let's listen on this thing. Big old 3S in there. Just in case you had to empty a mag really quick, I don't think you get any quicker than this thing. But yeah, and of course, for some reason I felt the need for these kind of bonefish ideas on it. Why? Because it goes with it. What does it represent? I don't know, and I don't care. I think it looks cool. That's why I did it. This is a fun one. Standard Nerf Strife. It's got a 3D printed extended barrel kit on it. And of course, I have to master key it. So what I do, I put a Nerf takedown on the bottom. Just like that. This one I actually picked off of Foamdemic. So this one also has upgraded flywheels, cage, wired for, I think, 2S. And again, this thing, absolutely love it. The best thing about this is you got a stock, but even sometimes you want to go stubby, you can go stubby, or maybe you don't have the wingspan. But yeah, fully modified Strife. This one is full auto. I do not have a battery in it, but this one was also done by my friend James. James Ridling again. I made some stuff for him. He made some stuff for me. He's a good friend and he's a good dude, and I appreciate what the man does. But again, this one, master keys. I love making a master key. I don't know what's because of how I grew up, or I just think it's cool, or it's just fun having the option. Either way, I don't care. If I can stick something underneath it, I love to do it. And again, what I love about these is, if this is too long for you, you're getting too tired, and maybe it's too hot, it all comes apart so easily. But then, off of this one as well, let's say you want something bigger, because this is nice and compact, so you don't feel like when you go around a corner, you're gonna have to like go wide because it is too big. So then, because sometimes you gotta be ridiculous. No mags in it now, but you know what? Big and ridiculous, as you can tell. Normally it has two big mags that goes in like this. But yeah, it's unwieldy, but you know what? It is a lot of fun. Just in case you're looking at me going, hey Al, that takedown's not big enough. Well, you know what? Then fine, we'll go a little bit bigger. What if we did this? You want super long, super ridiculous? Yeah, I can do that. And right there. I love putting Saturns on this. I think it just looks cool. I get it that it's too long, it's too big, but you know what? I don't care. These, I always love these, and everyone loves them. I think everyone that's ever been in the hobby probably has one or has had one at one point. Again, just your standard Nerf long shot. They stopped making them years ago, but the lines on these things are always so much fun, and they're so much fun to paint. They always look cool. They look like some kind of space-age rifle, some kind of futuristic post-apocalyptic thing you can do with it. It is so much fun. Never mind the mod kits, you can get to them. I never went that crazy on this one. This one just has a standard spring upgrade, because for me, again, it's more looks. But remove the handle, paint it up like I did. I've done many of these as well. And also, in other episodes, we're gonna look at it, where I make these into master keys too. Why? Because I'm nuts and I can. Same idea, again, fully modified, full auto Strife. Hits around 160 FPS with, I think, the 3S. Could hit harder, don't quote me on that. But again, instead of doing a long Saturn, I love doing these takedowns. They're nice and compact, they're short, they fit good, and they look really cool. And again, sometimes for the whole complaint about, well, what about barrel drag? Well, what about the length of it? Yeah, you know what? Now, it's much shorter. A little tighter, a little closer, you don't have to worry about sticking a huge barrel out around cover. And again, if it's still too long, take out the stock, then you can see how short it is. This one also, again, modular. You can stick other things to it. You might recognize that, Nerf Forerunner. And again, is it necessary? No. But you know what? The convenience of having two handles like this to hold. And just like that, we've gone big and ridiculous. I love making these Sling Fire Master Keys. This is a Nerf Sling Fire. It ends right about here. This is a big old 3D printed scope. So what you're actually seeing here is PVC pipe, PVC board right here. And basically, I took the inner barrel of a Nerf Recon barrel, took that out, shoved that right into there to give me more support, and then was able, with these two pieces of PVC, kind of sandwich it between the barrels. Off that barrel I stuck in there, built it up with black electrical tape to kind of create that friction fitting to get this PVC pipe over top, but then it still wobbled. And I didn't like the wobble. When I make stuff, it's got to be solid, otherwise I don't like to make it. So hence, we have this bracket. Now, this bracket, here's the advantage of when you're doing stuff that is basically post-apocalyptic. You can stick a random bracket on something and it looks like it's part of it. And sure enough, this is not decorative. This is very necessary to hold it all together, but it fits that whole theme of big, crazy post-apocalyptic. Now, this one's not done yet, but you can see the whole process of the in-between until I finally get it finished. This one is that. This is the first one I made. This one, I love it absolutely. You can tell all the detailing in it. And again, wholly post-apocalyptic. It kind of looks like the world has ended and you combined a bunch of things to create this monstrosity. But I freaking love this thing. And this is why I keep making more of them. This one, again, was a collaboration with James Ridling because I felt the need to make a master key. What does that mean? Taking an already existing master key, which we have right here. Again, this one was made by Nerf, and it's the Moto Blitz. So you have already one blaster here. He modified this one, so then again, he rewired it, 3S, new motors, new everything. I can't remember what the cage you put in there. It is still semi-auto, but actually, I love this freaking thing. And then on top of that, we have a full auto strife right here. So what we have is this big, beautiful monstrosity. And is it ridiculous? Yes. Does it hit hard? Yes. Do I love using this thing? Yes. This is my point, man. Don't be afraid to make crazy things. It's fun. That's the best part about our hobby. And I absolutely love this thing. I made him one too. You might have seen his videos. His is blue. But yeah, as you can tell, it's yellow. This one's got to be mine. Thanks for joining me on The Forge. Be sure to tune in next week where I'll give you more tricks and tips and teach you how to make it big, bad, and beautiful.